Hey everyone, Steve from Make Your Own Fun here. In this video, I'm just showing you how I got my Dreamcast controllers to work on the Nintendo Switch. Now, like a lot of my other experiments, you might be wondering why would I bother doing this? And I gotta be honest, it doesn't even work perfectly, so it's not gonna be something that I do all the time. But I just had an idea that it might work, and using the right combination of adapters, we can get something going. And you can see here, I am enjoying a bit of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike through the Anniversary Collection. Okay, so here's everything you're going to need to make this work. First off, obviously, is a Dreamcast controller. You can tell by the blue swirl here that this is a PAL Dreamcast controller as I'm in Australia. I do have two VMUs loaded up here. They're not going to serve any purpose at all other than beeping when we plug the controller in. And yes, you can tell that this is a nice old well-used Dreamcast controller. The controller is going to go into this DC controller adapter for PC USB made by Mayflash. It's just a 2-port USB adapter that usually use for PC, but in this instance we're going to be using it on the Switch. That's going to go here, like that. Next step in the chain is a Titan 1 made by Console Tuner. There is also the Cronus Max Plus, which is essentially the same device. We're going to plug the USB end of this Dreamcast adapter here into the input of the Titan 1. There are 2 ports in the adapter here. I'm really not sure what's going to happen if we plug controllers into both of them. I'm going to guess it's just not going to work as expected, so I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. Then finally, we have our PS3/PS4 to Switch adapter by Brook. Now, the reason I think this works is because when you set this Titan 1 to either automatic or PS4 output mode, then it's going to be seen by this adapter as a Switch controller, which is good, but as you'll see, it's not going to work perfectly. So that's going to go in the final step of our chain. And I'm just plugging all of this into a USB hub that I have here, which is upside down. So this whole thing is going to get plugged in upside down. You might have heard the VMU beep just then. And we should be good to go. Let's test it. There we are. I've put the Switch in focus, so hopefully you can see that we've got things moving via the Dreamcast controller. Now, to show you how things are working, let's do the button check. Okay, so hopefully you can see now. Sorry, it's a bit bright, but it says the symbol for what you press will appear here. So we're going to just go through all our buttons. X is A, Y is X, B is B, and A is Y. So that's how the Dreamcast controller is acting as a Switch controller. We've got left trigger here is L, and the right trigger is R. I gotta be honest, I don't know if these buttons on the Dreamcast controller have names. It might be Z and C, it might be L and R, I don't know. The start button down here is start. The analog stick isn't being seen, but I think it's just gonna work as an analog stick. And here is the most interesting bit. Okay, so we've got our D-pad, right? Left is left, down is down, right is right. But when you press up, it goes back to the home screen. That's why I'm not gonna use, and you didn't see me in the intro use the D-pad, which isn't great for fighting games. Ideally, I'd use the D-pad. But yeah, I had to use the analog stick because whenever you press up on the D-pad, it acts as a home button. So I'm going to press it again. Goes back to Street Fighter, which I was playing before. Press A when I'm ready, which is actually X on the Dreamcast. Press up, home screen, home screen. There we are. And the other 3 buttons of the D-pad work perfectly. But yeah, it's just up, which is also acting as up, but up and a home button, which isn't great. And if I hold it, there, see, you've got the quick menu there. So yeah, that's it. That's how the Dreamcast controller is being recognized by the adapter setup that I've got. Play some Super Turbo. Okay, so you might have noticed as well, we don't have a minus button with this setup. And for some reason, minus button isn't acting as the coin right now. There we are. This button here acts as the coin, so I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the way I've set up the controls, but anyways, yeah, I'm not going to be able to start this game in particular without pressing that as the coin button. So if I was playing this in docked mode, I would need another controller or something to do that. I don't know. I don't know how this works. But yeah, that's a big issue that I found. No minus button. Not sure if you know, but the arcade mode in Super Turbo is insanely hard. It always just defaults to the max difficulty, apparently. Great. I'll press the up button on the D-pad as home. That's useful. That actually proves useful. And let's just try some Super Nintendo games. you might be familiar with the fact that ZL and ZR access the in-game menu in this Nintendo Switch Online Super Nintendo collection. So I'm not going to be able to do that. Again, am I able to do that like this? Oh, okay, that's confusing. So that way I can access the menu, but if I want to use this controller again, okay, I can do both, which is good. Thought I wasn't going to be able to do both, which is not ideal. Anyways. Oh shit. Man, using the analog stick is not easy. Oh shit. Okay. Let's try another Super Nintendo game. So I'm loading up Donkey Kong Country. Let's see how that plays with the Dreamcast controller. I'm sure that's a question everyone's had on their mind. Gotta say, using the analog stick as a D-pad, I guess, is not a great experience. But if you love this Dreamcast controller that much, I'm sure you will find a way to adjust to this experience. And I just died. Anyways, that's it for that. So while I'm here, why not test out the Dreamcast fishing controller? Let's see if that does anything on the Nintendo Switch via this setup. As I'm talking right now, I've literally never tested this before, even though I probably should have. And there we are. Whoa, okay. Ugh, it's not playing nice. It keeps wanting to move up. Nah, this is not gonna... Oh geez, I'm shaking to see if that shake functionality does anything. It doesn't, but I'm pressing on the analog stick and it keeps switching back and forth, as in like moving down then up. If I hold it down, it's all, nah, nothing. Right, Dreamcast fishing rod is not gonna work on the Switch, which is a fact I'm sure you were all waiting to hear. And then finally, as you can see, I'm going to test the old Green Goblin arcade stick. I actually don't have high hopes for this because I know for a fact that with this PC adapter, the Mayflash one, these two buttons don't work. I guess they are called Z and C, or Z and C. So yeah, these don't work on this adapter for some reason. If I put it through like Windows, like on Windows 10, it just doesn't work. So I don't have any hopes of this being anything more than a 4-button controller, but let's see. Ooh. Okay, so it works by, sometimes you just have to plug it out and plug it back in again. Shit. Oops. I just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally enter sleep mode. But as you can see, going up on this controller is the home button, which is just not going to work. So unfortunately, that's how this has panned out. It's awesome for a little bit if I was playing Street Fighter, but I wouldn't be able to jump, so that's not going to work. So I guess that's where this little experiment ends. I've loaded up Dragon Ball FighterZ here just to see how it plays, and I'm not the most familiar with this game, but hopefully it'll be a little fun playing with the Dreamcast controller. So yeah, this is just a silly little experiment with not much practical application, but maybe you'll try this yourself sometime if you're feeling a bit bored. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks!